Hi, talking a lot about action this week. If you've read the newsletter and you've seen the blog, then you know this is what I'm all about. And in the newsletter, I'm highlighting this book this week, Atomic Habits. I akin it to, is that a thing you can say? Akin? I liken it. How about that? That's better. I liken it to The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, which will probably go down as always one of my favorite books of all time. And similar things in here, but some other new great ideas. And one thing that has really struck me from this book is this idea of motion versus action. And this hit me right between the eyes because you all know I love planning. I love spending time planning and strategizing and creating ideas and content. And that's all motion. So it kind of really called me out myself, like looking at the balance between what is motion, what am I doing that's motion, and what is action. And I can definitely spend a lot more time in motion. This is what he said. I refer to this as the difference between being in motion and taking action. The two ideas sound similar, but they're not the same. When you're in motion, you're planning and strategizing and learning. Oh, my favorite things to do. Those are all good things, but they don't produce a result. Interesting. I can fool myself on that one. Action, he says, on the other hand, is the type of behavior that will deliver the outcome. So what you write down when you actually go and do it, obviously, that's action. He says, if I outline 20 ideas for an article I want to write, that's motion. If I actually sit down and write an article, that's action. If I search for a better diet plan and read a few books on the topic, that's motion. If I actually eat a healthy meal, that's action. And then he does go on to say, which I totally agree, motion, it has a lot of value. Sometimes motion is useful, he says, but it will never produce an outcome by itself. And so just wanted to share that little smidgen of an idea with you today because it is causing me to think. I haven't formulated all my thoughts on it yet, but just a new way to up level action taking and thinking about efficiency and productivity. And I do have some people who say to me, I just want to have more fun. I don't want to do all this strict stuff. But what I can tell you for sure, and this is what I was taught when I first learned about having habits and a schedule and planning on productivity, is there's so much more freedom because when you build habits, you get an emotion, things get good, things become automatic. You don't have to always forever plan everything down to the nth degree because when you start to really have habits that you've instilled, they just start to happen and it makes it a lot easier to make decisions. So if I have habits and I know what I like and my habits support me in living the life I want to, it's a lot easier for me to say no to things. It's a lot easier for me to say yes to the right things. And so I will leave you with that for this week. I hope that you engross yourself in the whole package of the newsletter this week and that it will be valuable for you as you move into the last week of January. It's so hard to believe. So think about what you want this week, what it could mean to you to do this thing or that thing before the end of the month, how you're going to feel. And as I said in the newsletter as well, the most important thing is get those goals for the year locked down. Not that they can't be flexible, not that you can't change them at some point, but that they are finished. You have a plan, you know where you're headed, and then you're going to start to work with it. So use this last week of the month to really make sure that you've got what you want down on paper and you've got something to point yourself toward. Okay, so be talking more about that, but have a great week ahead. I always appreciate you watching and listening, and I'll see you next week.